So guys, welcome to another episode of Really Social Estate. I'm very excited to have this guest on. We tried to make it happen for a few times. Again, during these times, we couldn't make it happen, but finally, I think it's the third time we tried it. It worked out. So the third number, the rule of third time is going to work out. It did. So I'm very excited to have Robert Benenati on. First of all, he's New Orleans native. With over 30 years of construction and renovation experience, he has influenced major projects, most recently a $1.7 million condo conversion project. Seeing a change in the market, Robert seized the opportunity to begin a career in commercial and multifamily management for the last 8 years. Robert has been the regional vice president of development and management to a 600-door portfolio valued to over $100 million in this short time, and he has helped achieve unprecedented growth and increased revenue, nearly doubling the portfolio's value. In the past, Robert has managed portfolios up to 7,000 units in 6 states before his present portfolio, managing maintenance, construction crews, and property management staff. So, and the rest bio, as I told Robert, is going to be down below for you guys. Go and check, read it through. It's super impressive. This man has 30 years of commercial and residential construction experience, 8 years asset management experience, 5 years regional vice president, and it just continues because it's it's amazing. I love it. So first of all, I just want to say a big thank you for being on the show today, Robert.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to talk with you and get to know you a little bit more. And I know a lot of people are going to benefit from what we're going to be talking about today. And first of all, very impressive bio. But the question is that I think everybody wants to know, who is listening or watching this right now, is how Robert ended up in this position, having all these units and experience. Like where your journey in real estate investment started?
Well, I've always had the passion in real estate. Honestly, it started after Katrina in New Orleans, and I started my first house real estate investment was a flip. It was a house that sat for 2 years, and I did a full rehab from the roof down, and that was my first flip, and just haven't stopped. Personally, I've just always loved to take something and make money on it, obviously, and change it to something, from something ugly to something beautiful, and then make money at the same time. And ever since, that's what I've been doing personally. And then I fell into property management, overseeing 7,000 units from the maintenance staff, then the construction staff, then got promoted and the owners saw my drive and went into the management part of it, and oversaw 38 apartment complexes with management, day-to-day management at that property, and just moved closer home. Now I oversee 600 units for another investor.
Yeah, that is beautiful. I mean, your journey started during Katrina. So in the times, it was a tough times for a lot of people at that time. I'm not even from the States, but like I heard about Katrina, it's been spread out in the songs, it's been spread out all over the news and the media. So it was a quite big event, a bad event, but you took a different approach in that moment. You took some action and you flipped the house by house hacking that as well, and just started your real estate journey. So that's very interesting, because a lot of times people, just like in the times like these, people who are watching this, we're still in a COVID times, and a lot of people doing, not doing what you did. A lot of people are fearful, they're not taking action, but you did, and that's super impressive. But even before that, have you came across real estate at all? Was there any family members involved, friends, or maybe the books? I know people talking about Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad Poor Dad. So was there anything besides, Katrina and, house flipping that came across that you got involved into real estate, like at least in your mind?
Yeah, well, before Katrina, I was actually, I was in commercial sales, so I was in the sales era, or the area as far as construction and renovation. So I always dealt with contractors, property management companies, selling them on the sales part of it. So I always kind of saw the potential. I saw what investors were doing, contractors were doing. So I kind of understood it from the sales part of it also. And I was also with corporate America I was corporate with Lowe's for 12 years.
Mm-hmm.
So that was before I actually personally started buying property. But so I always had that passion. I always seen, people making money. And then after Katrina, like I said, I saw the opportunity and I just went for it. I went head first, and like I said, I took a flip that, I had to, be totally renovated from the roof down, and I just made it happen. And a lot, but far as people around me, I never did have people that were around me that were in it. Just from the sales part of it, watching people do it. And I guess I've always been driven and just had that vision, and just kind of made it happen.
Yeah.
I
That's
wish,
please.
back then, I did have a mentor. I would have started a lot younger.
Wow. Wow. Okay. Yeah, because still, I mean, you have 30 years of experience, so talking about, started, younger. I mean, 30 years experience is a lot. It's a lot of years. And, you did like 7,000 units in 6 states that, you managed that portfolio as well. And now we have 600 units. And I mean, it's big. You're playing in the big leagues. And the fact that you're discovered kind of randomly, almost like by default, by the situation happening, and you just saw like, oh, I can make some money and I can fix this up and just resell it. And so that is very interesting. But again, having 30 years experience, like you see it all kind of at the same time. You see in the good times, the bad times, the 2007 8. So like, talking about these current moments, like what do you see like going on with real estate investors, and where do you see like markets going? Of course, we're not going to go in depth and kind of, because we don't have the crystal ball. Nobody actually knows maybe what's going to happen, but maybe you can predict just a little bit to people who are listening, and maybe they're looking to get involved, or they're active in real estate but maybe they don't have 30 years of experience. Like from your perspective, like what's going to happen like in the next 3 to 6 months?
So what I think that's going to happen, obviously, was a big learning thing for me, was going through Katrina and then being in the real estate world. Everything's going to rebound. It's just going to be a matter of how long it's going to rebound. Everyone it's going to hurt, just like Katrina was. I mean, it was devastating. I mean, one day everything was 100%. Everybody was moving around to, you couldn't even get back to New Orleans after a month. I mean, I didn't see our house until a month after, and we couldn't even get into the city. And then when we did, everything was in darkness. So it wasn't even electricity here. So it was very devastating. But the way that everything works in life, everything shifts. Yep. So New Orleans right now, or the Gulf Coast, Mississippi. I invest in Louisiana and Mississippi now, but it's a heavy service industry market. So what's going to happen is, obviously service industry is hurting. Casinos are hurting. Restaurants are hurting. Mm-hmm. So those people are going to probably try to get a job somewhere else where, they can try to get a job in grocery business or whatever. So everything's going to shift, but restaurants are going to come back. Casinos are going to come back. So it's just really a waiting to see how long it's going to take. But meanwhile, in real estate, they're going to have a lot of opportunity, I believe. And it's just going to be, some people are going to benefit from it. Some people are not.
Yeah.
And really depending on,
An asset class or the
yes,
skill? Both.
what's that?
The asset class and the skill, both probably, right?
Yes, asset class is gonna. I mean, multifamily I think is gonna do well.
Mhm.
I think B and C is gonna, hurt the worst. The low income, you're gonna get a lot of funding. Section 8's gonna do fine. Service industry, BC, um,
Mobile home parks.
mobile home. I think mobile home park's gonna do really well.
Yeah, a lot of people are shifting their attention towards that. So
Yeah,
yeah,
uh,
because
commercial.
they're not building any more mobile home parks. I mean, so it's not like it's multifamily where you have thousands of units coming up like in 1 year. So yeah, so there's opportunities definitely available for the people like yourself who in a position like who has the experience and you are looking towards the right asset class. So, but like for the people who are watching and they're thinking like, you always get those people as like, you know, like I'm not going to invest. I'm just going to wait for the crash until the crash is going to be here. And then I will go and make my move. So what would you recommend for people who are looking to go and get involved with the real estate? What type of like asset class? You mentioned multifamily, you recommend that. So what would you don't recommend to do? Like go and flip, go and house hack, like do the Airbnb, like what is the best, like is it just multifamily or there's a couple more maybe asset classes that people can follow?
What first of all, I would say don't wait. Obviously build your relationship with brokers, deal, relationship with investors. Make sure that you're active. Make sure you're looking. Make sure you're networking big. Airbnb, what's happening right now is going to be devastating for anyone that has Airbnb. So what's going to happen, I believe, they're going to have more people foreclose on some of those houses, or what's happening now is that they're trying to get those Airbnbs into long-term rental. So it's going to actually give more into the market, trying to get part of the long-term rental
Mhm.
market. But far as yeah, I would definitely not wait. I would definitely look now. Multifamily, I think is going to do well. Single family, I think is going to be well. Flips, honestly, what I'm looking at is possibly owner finance. So
Mhm.
look at reaching out to people that may be hurting without a job, come
Yeah.
in and do own a finance, where they can pay to keep their home, or you come in and help them with their mortgage. That way it saves their house, but then you benefit by helping them, and then that
Yeah.
way.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So yeah, it's kind of you. So you mentioned a couple of things. I have just a couple of notes here that you mentioned that you can help people like with renovation. You do the business planning, vetting, property management company and construction companies. Because like in these times, if somebody is looking to get involved into real estate, I think kind of having somebody who has 30 years experience in this business and the game, it's very important. So talking about like the business plan, let's say I would be like, okay, I'm interested, I want to get involved in the real estate, because like what you can do with the business plan, for the people who want to like talk with you, like what will be the process here?
Well, me and my wife have a company that we help with due diligence. You know, we can come in, walk units, see what kind of deferred maintenance or capex that they're looking to buy. There's a lot of things that I've seen, through the years that, it's just a red flag. If you see things that you go in, you see water spots on the ceiling, that's just a sign that the roof may be failing, or rot on the siding on the outside may not be sealed correctly. But there's a lot of things that we can help out with.
Mm.
What's going to happen, I believe, also with this downturn and the crisis that we're going through is going to be a lot of deferred maintenance. So what's going to happen is the landlords, the owners are going to not put in a lot of money into it just to survive.
Mm.
And I don't want to see anyone get hurt, but that's, I believe, what's going to happen. They're going to cut costs, but they're going to cut costs with maintenance instead of cutting costs with, services or different things. But that's going to be a big play where due diligence is going to be very important moving forward when you're buying property.
Yeah.
And even operating properties is going to be very important.
Yeah. Okay. So that's very interesting. So again, looking at the experience at the same time. So you moved from 7,000 units in 6 states. So you don't manage any that portfolio anymore, right? In the 6 states. So you mentioned you got closer to home by having 600 doors.
That's correct.
That's correct,
yeah.
Right? Okay, and most recently, as I'm looking, I'm just going through that. You have $1.7 million condo conversion project. Is that what you're working on currently at the moment as well?
Yeah. So right now, the portfolio that I oversee is 600 unit, commercial and residential, and then also a 72 unit in that portfolio that we're converting to apartments, 2 condos, which is a total gut. So we're going in when the people move out of the apartments, we're going in with a GC. I oversee the GC, but we're totally gutting them down to the stud, changing wiring, updating plumbing, updating electrical, tankless water heaters to full new cabinets, 2 new roofing. I mean, we have changed the roofing, but new cabinets, new flooring. Everything in it is brand new, and then we're selling them.
So just doing is it going to be a light value add? How much you're going to spend per unit over there?
Well, the owners would sell them after they're renovated, but they start, the 1-bedroom start at $220,000, so they're like almost $300 a square foot after.
Okay. So why condo conversion project? I mean, because again, you mentioned looking, to invest in multifamily as well, and because again, like you don't do the flipping, like you don't flip anymore at the moment, right?
On the personal side, I do flip on the personal side. So me and my wife do still buy some singles, and we do flip them on the side. The condos is part of the portfolio that I manage for an investor, him and his wife.
Okay. Got it. Okay, so like seeing like people, because again, like from what I'm seeing here on a bio, on a description here that you just sent me, like people, I mean, and what you're saying, like people are still actively buying deals, and I'm talking with people, they're planning to acquire 5,000 units, 2,000 units right now, and I mean, people are listening like, how is that possible? So like talking about the multifamily, like you're planning to go and invest into that. You're going to be a GP at some point, right? Into these deals. So what will be the benefit of going and doing that instead of, just continuing, managing portfolios for other people? Like why go and get involved yourself, on a day-to-day basis in these projects? Like what will be the reason for you to do that?
Well, the big goal for me is I want to get in to be a GP on syndication or JV to have ownership. As of right now, it's basically a W-2, salary vice president of this company for the owners, but I don't have any ownership of it. So the syndication is what I'm getting involved with, is teaming up with people that we are going to actually be owners and have, part of that property.
Okay, that's very interesting. So, because there's probably very successful W-2 employees over there in the States, making they make a lot of money. You can get people like that, you know, who are making 500K a year and more. Of course, you're paying 50% in taxes, but on a paper, it looks like you're making a lot of money. But you know, so what will be the reason, again, you know, going from that into multifamily? Because I know, like, you know, I don't want to start talking about the benefits because I know you're expert on that. So maybe you can just cover the basics, you know, for the people who are listening. What will be the benefits moving from that into multifamily, like income wise and tax wise? Like, what will be?
I mean, the benefits of why I want to get into is obviously financial freedom. So you also going to have, you know, that limited partner, well, that partnership in it. So you will get, you know, that constant cash flow. And then, you know, there's a lot of things that you can control as being an asset management or being an operator. You know, you can operate and control all that, and that's exactly what I'm doing now. But to reap the benefits instead of just getting that paycheck, basically, is what I really want. To have that ownership of it, so it's constant cash flow also.
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, cash flow, there's a lot of people talking about that. So again, it's coming back to the, you know, to the coronavirus times, you know, and we spoke that prior to starting, you know, clicking the record button on the interview, because people now in the States, and I think it's happening all over the world, people are actually like, they thought they were good financially, but, you know, there's a lot of people are $500, euros, pounds away from being broke. You know, they just have this amount of money, like 500, like $1,000, 1,000 euros in the pocket. You know, and they like, look, they have no savings, and people now feel that they're like, oh my God, like I'm like, what I'm gonna do? I cannot work. My like company's closing, or so that's what people are experiencing right now, and that's why I think real estate is definitely an answer, because people need to look for something that can pay them cash flow. It could be a business. It could be, I don't know if it's going to be a stock market, but real estate is definitely an answer. But, you know, what will be a transition for somebody who is watching this right now and thinking like, okay, good for you, Robert. You've been in business for 30 years. You can do this. Maybe you have, you know, you're liquid. You have equity on the side. You can go and invest. You have the capital, the money. So what actually does it take for somebody to get involved into the multifamily syndication business? Does somebody need, you know, unlimited cash before they go even get involved with that? Or like, what is the basics of starting in the business?
Well, I mean, it's all about a team also, you know, so your team understanding it, you know, anybody that wants to get involved with the, I mean, obviously, learn the pieces of a team, you know, learn the syndication, learn, you know, the purchasing process, the underwriting. The underwriting is going to be huge right now with COVID. You know, one of the big things also about me is that, you know, I'm getting older. You know, I've got grandkids. So, I mean, flipping houses is a lot of work. Wholesaling is a whole lot of work.
Yeah.
Single family rental is a whole lot of work. So, you know, getting into the multifamily, getting that cash flow and having, you know, 100 properties in one location is easier to manage. But again, it's all about having a team, and then also knowing how to add value to that property, being, you know, having that communication with your tenants, knowing that you're going to be there for them and not have that deferred maintenance. It's just some parts of it, but you know, the overall of it is just to learn everything that you can, team up, have mentors, network, and really work together to you know, get involved with it. You know, if you have liquid, you know, cash you want to put in, you know, there's so many different ways that you can put into syndication or multifamily investing, and that could be passive. You know, you don't need to worry about any of the maintenance. You don't have to worry about management. Of course, you want to vet, you know, your team. You want to vet the property management companies, but a lot of it passive is just sitting and really collecting mailbox money. As long as you have a good operator and that you know who's operating that property and managing it.
Yeah, yeah. That makes total sense, because like every time I talk to somebody just like yourself who's active in commercial or just real estate business, we talk and we always covering the subject of, people going and investing passively in the deals. Because I think a lot of people right now, because we had these conversations before the COVID, and I think a lot of people who are rewatching these interviews right now during the COVID, they're thinking like, oh my God, like I was wrong. I should went passive in the deal, because it takes, again, what you're saying, like it takes a lot of time, first of all, just to get the knowledge. Like you cannot collect 30 years worth of experience in a week or by just reading the book. So it's impossible. So like, and how are you going to find a team right now? There's no seminars going on. There's virtual trainings going on. You can go and do those, but people, I don't know if people can partner with you, by doing virtual Zoom call.
Right.
You still need to shake hands, and like, so like for some people who are looking to get started, it will be really tough. I mean, it's possible if you're creative enough, but it's going to be tough.
Right, right. I mean, and experienced operators, experienced people that have been in this. I mean, even the experienced people really don't know, what's coming, how long this is going to take. So really being creative and seeing what works, what doesn't work. One of the biggest things that I've seen, and from my experience and from talking to other people, other peers, is really being having that communication with the tenant,
Mm-hmm.
knowing that everybody's in this. If there's hardship, let's try to work it out. Let's get through these few months. Hopefully, it's only a couple months, but really just reaching out and just working as a team all the way down to your tenants.
Yeah. Well, I don't think, what do you think, Robert? Is there people, I mean, landlords, are they kicking people out? I don't think that's happening. I mean, it could, like, you could, but I don't believe people want to do that, because first of all, you're going to get, you know, you're going to get a tenant who's going to move out, and he's going to move out with all the things that are in that apartment, probably. Or maybe he's just going to trash the entire thing just because
Right.
what you did to the person. Most second, they're going to leave really bad reviews, probably apartments.com, Zillow, whatever, they're going to leave those. And number three, I mean, you will have expenses on top of that, because you will need to, fix the apartment, put it on the market. It's going to be another week or two. I mean, who's going to go and shop around now for apartments? I mean, to find the tenant right now. So it's tough, like, and it doesn't make sense for anybody. I think, in my opinion, like the apartment that we're living in, we're renting. So, like I don't see the landlords, because the most stupid thing I think would be kick somebody out unless they are causing problems. But I think everybody wants to just settle down and come to some sort of agreement, so they can pay maybe half or something. But yeah,
Yeah.
but it's communication thing right now. Definitely, people need to come closer, even though government is saying about all this distancing thing. But people need to come closer, and if you cannot physically do that remotely, I don't know, but just communicate, because that's how you're going to solve things. So what do you see people talk about these things? Because I see like it's a big topic right now, and I see a lot of people on Facebook talking about that. I mean, the hyperinflation. Big word, right? So what do you think about happening that in the near future? Because, because what's going on with the quantitative easing, and, companies, governments printing all these trillions of dollars right now. So what do you think is going to happen in the future?
I'm not really sure, but I mean, banks funding is going to be really tough. Government can only bail out so much. So, yeah, I mean, it's going to be kind of a waiting game on that, but I don't know. It's going to be really tough, and that's where I think owner finance is going to really help out, where you can not have to deal with the bank. So,
Yeah.
I don't know. That's going to be it's going to get really tough with funding mostly.
Yeah. That's another subject. It could be a podcast, entire podcast episode just on that, because I mean, it's insane what's going on. So, like there's a lot of stuff floating around, and we're not going to go here and, talk about, governments and go into all these, schemes like, everybody's involved into that, and Bill Gates, vaccinations, all that stuff. I mean, we just leave it out for there. It's all about the positivity and just giving people some solutions to the problems that we have. But yeah, it's going to be some tough times that we have to face. But I think, it's been already like we had tough times in those, 2000 plus years, more before. So I think, we can handle, we went a long way. I mean, with the technology as human beings, we developed so much, and, we're creative enough to solve these type of problems. So, but, like, what will be your type of advice again for the people who are watching this? And, because there's, two people on the spectrum, somebody who's looking for work, somebody who has, cash available, and they can make moves around, and they can influence people and do some stuff. So, like, where do you see, like, economically, like 3 to 6 months, like what's going to happen in the US and the entire world, first of all? But like, what people should do, like, are those people who are in that spectrum, like they don't have any money, like the job, like they should go and pursue some new career? Like, what will be your type of advice? Because I know you have people around who are probably on the both spectrums. And what would you recommend for a person who has cash available, and what he should do, like pursue the real estate investing or just save it up? Like, what do you see, like what people are talking about?
Yeah, I mean, I'm if you have cash, I would keep cash on hand. Um, I mean, like I said, I think um, the ones that have the money or that have the cash on hand is going to do better because of the financing. The people that are like lose their jobs may have to shift into a different profession. I mean, obviously, grocery business and all that is doing really well, but everyone always needs a home to live in.
Yeah.
So maintenance, I don't, I don't, I don't think they're going to have a lot of new construction because that kind of died down in 2008. But a lot of people are going to start buying neglected houses, foreclosure houses, and they're going to start renovating them. And that's kind of what happened, back in 2008. So your new construction ended, but your renovation, kind of picked up. Your foreclosures got more plentiful, but you had your investors that kind of picked them up and either rented them or started flipping them. But that everything's going to shift, I believe, and I think technology is going to be huge. Obviously, Amazon is going to get bigger. Technology is going to get bigger. So everything's just going to kind of shift, and that it just really technology is going to do well. I think
Yeah.
property multifamily is going to do well.
Exactly. Like we're talking right now, we assume. I mean, so the like businesses definitely now it's the time for people to wake up and kind of understand, like, if you, because I seen this quote before, if you're not going to move with the times, you're going to lag behind or something like that. So now it's definitely the time for you to shift some gears and make a lot of changes in a business. It doesn't matter what type of business you're in, because it's all about getting creative right now. And that's how we start changing and influencing our environment, I think, by making some internal creative decisions that, first of all, influence our life. And we can become so big that we'll start to influence other people. And that's how the economies work. So everybody has to make their own personal decision to, go into the action mode, instead of, watching the CNBC, the Fox News, or whatever you have over there in the States. I know you got some good TV, right? So
I hardly watch TV, or especially the news.
yeah,
You never know leave, but
yeah, exactly. Like, look, we have a TV, we never watch it as well. We're just too busy, doing our thing and just expanding in the marketplace. And what you mentioned before, with technology and media, and so again, like this, what we're doing right now, like the Zoom, YouTube, people watching this interview on YouTube, they're listening this on a podcast. So what do you see, like, from business standpoint, from real estate standpoint, could people shift their attention a little bit towards the social media to kind of push towards that? Because again, there's a lot of companies in real estate, and real estate is outdated overall. I mean, it's a very old business, right? Going back
Right.
to, Carnegie's, and, owning, all these railroads, and people buying land, for cents on acres and stuff like that. So it's insane, but it's a very old business. But people not implementing social media, which I think could be a cure for a lot of, disease, like for the business, in real estate space. So what do you think, or maybe what you see going on with social media and people implementing any, like, strategies to just expand the business, or, raise capital, or just find partnerships? Any good news from social media, and real estate business?
Well, I'll tell you, social media has changed my life a year, this last year. It is huge. I mean,
That's
it's
interesting.
everything is virtual. I mean, especially with the virus now. But the company that I've ran for the last 4 years, we started doing more and more virtual as it was. Although I'm still pretty old school, so I like the one-on-one personal, selling part of it. So I teach my leasing agents that. But we've started going to FaceTime. We started doing videos. With the COVID, we actually started taking the people that put in their notice. So we 30-day notice or 60-day notice. We've had the tenants actually do a FaceTime or a video of their home, so we didn't have to enter the houses. So everything's virtual, and it's getting more and more like that. Zoom, we have Zoom calls. So everything is definitely going to get more virtual.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just amazing what social media can do. Social media, if you're on social media, and then you go to a conference, a real estate conference or business conference, like you've been knowing these people for months, but you've
Yeah.
never met them in person. So it's incredible what social media has done. And believe me, I'm one that hated Facebook. I hated to get on there, but it has changed.
Any particular
Network.
reasons why you hated it?
I thought it was just all gossip. It was gossip. It was bad news. But one thing about Facebook, you can create your own world.
Yeah,
So
you have a control.
if you didn't like somebody because they were negative, you can delete them. You don't need to see their negative. If you didn't want to watch CNN, you didn't have to watch CNN on your Facebook. You can.
Yeah, you just can unfollow it.
Yeah, just unfollow it, and just make it positive. I mean, it's incredible what you can do with social media, though.
Oh, definitely. And right now, like, talking with so many businesses, like personally myself, and we would talk about social media uh, all the time, because that's what we do. But first of all, like, everybody, it doesn't matter the nature of the business. If you're watching this interview through YouTube, which you are, you're probably watching this on the phone, or I don't know, on the TV screen. People don't watch the TV anymore. TV just became this background noise, to kind of a radio that just runs in the background. But people don't even do that anymore. They listen to the podcast. They just leave it on a speaker, and they go and do the home cooking, the workout at home, like whatever they do, right? People commute to work, they listen to the podcast. So, like, the entire thing is just changing. We're living in information age. So just for you guys to remind that. So, in these times like this, people need to lean a lot on social media as well, because people sitting at home, they're switching on TV, and TV, they know, oh, look at the killer bees are coming, oh my god, like, let's go to the fun stuff. And then now they go to the Facebook, Instagram, and they're just scrolling. So as much as they can see you on these mediums, the main ones, let's say Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, the more attention you can collect, and that attention will convert into the money, the deals, whatever you want to do with that. But that's the new currency in this day and age, because particularly now with what's going on and so much attention, people are going all over the place right now. They're like, oh my God, unemployment, killer bees, like the quantitative easing. It's like there's so much distractions. And for people, and that's why, like I'm creating this content, and I'm so grateful that you jump in on this call as well, just for people to see, like, look, if you just shift attention from what's going on, from all the noise, from the killer bees, and you just
Right.
shift the attention towards like the positive notes. Like we didn't cover like a lot of things that we covered. It wasn't positive, but it's just the facts, the truth. Like we cannot hide that and say like, oh my God, the world is just a rainbows and sunshine and everything's good. Like, but what we're talking about, there are solutions to those problems, and the solution is just to take action. So,
Yeah.
like having your own personal like business and like goals for this year, I'm sure that you had these in place before. Maybe the last year, December 31. That's what people do. I did that, but you had the business plans in place, but nobody had a plan for COVID and for what's going to happen in the marketplace. A lot of people knew the recession is coming, but how's your business goals are looking right now at the moment comparing to what you planned before? And have you changed those, or maybe you just kept them the same?
We, like I said, I have a consultant business with due diligence. And I mean, I think this is going to be the time that everyone that just has to reevaluate everything, make sure that, their expenses in line. If you need to cut back expenses and have, simple thing as maintenance, start cutting grass instead of having that service. I mean, it's just right now, my focus is still wanting to get in multifamily as an operator, as an owner, but really learning from, this time. And it's just like life. I mean, everything that we go through with life is learning from our mistakes, or learning from different epidemics like this. So really just refocusing, making sure that we're doing everything that we can to tweak expenses and whatever we can do. I mean, really anything I could do to help others grow, teach anything that I've done. I've been in the trenches. I've been, in property management. I've been in construction. So there's a lot of things that you can do and learn from, but not learn from books. So just really networking and learning from people that have been there, and really tweak everything and get ready for more to come.
Yeah, exactly. So having those type of people just like yourself is crucial. Like the people who, who have experience just like yourself. I mean, it's invaluable, because what you said, you cannot get this type of experience from the books. You can read it. I mean, I do recommend to read the books, but you need experienced people, particularly what you talked about, like the due diligence is going to be a big issue now, and people need to pay attention to that. And just vetting the property, management and construction companies, since if somebody still does that, or just going through the renovations and units and just helping people out in that place, which you can do, it is going to be very beneficial to people. And at the end of the day, we're placed in here to provide the service, to help each other out, particularly in times like these. So, like people need to reach out to you. So what will be those type of social media platforms, again, or just the channels that people can reach out to you, ask some questions, and just connect with you on that level?
Yeah, so I have a Facebook group that I've created, Multifamily Asset Management and Value Add.
Yeah.
Yep. So I share videos, posts, any questions. I'm pretty active with. We have a company, Strategic Property Consulting, which is a strategic consult prop.com is the website. And the biggest thing is surround yourself with positive people that have been there, people that are driven, they want to learn more, and they just surround yourself with people that want to make it happen. And instead of the negative, get away from the negativity, and and make things happen as a positive note.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Look, nothing negative from like nothing can become positive from negative. So
Right.
like, so you people need to move over from that. First of all, the TV, the media, the friends, you know, like it's not only on the social media that you can unfriend people. You actually can do that in life as well. Just click the
Oh yeah.
unfriend. Just click the unfriend. No more John. No more, no more Teresa. Just unfriend, because you need to move on, because look, in these times, like people will try to drag you down, and I mean that's happening. So you know, look for ways to lift people up, you know. And you cannot, you know, you cannot feed people from an empty plate. Like you need to be in a position that where you can actually, you know, help people and lift them up. But you know, so just guys, get creative, you know, get positive. Make sure that you reach out, Robert. You know, all the social media links are as always down below, so make sure you connect with them. Again, and we're going to put everything there. Man, it's just amazing. 30 years of construction and renovation experience. I mean, 8 years asset management experience is just amazing. Like this guy can help you with a lot of things when it comes to due diligence, property management, vetting, and I mean, a lot of great stuff. So anybody who's looking to get involved in a real estate business, definitely reach out to this man, or just, you know, go and join his group. He's dropping some good stuff. I know I'm a member in that group as well, so it's awesome. So guys, again, you know, if you enjoyed the show, you already know what to do. Click like, subscribe to the channel. And, you know, it's been awesome and amazing to have you on today, Robert. I know we still can cover a lot of topics, and, you know, I feel that you're just a, you know, very grateful, you know, guy. You're a go-giver and you have so much to give to people. So that's what want you guys to go and reach out to him and just start building this network and this connection, because that's what I was trying to do with Robert as well. And I'm so grateful to have you on today. But yeah, just go and reach out to him. So just a big thank you for you, Robert, as well, for being today on the show.
I appreciate you having me on.
Thank you, guys. So appreciate the show, guys. If you enjoyed it, again, like, subscribe, go and check it out, Robert's stuff. And as always, I'm going to see you on the next episode. Thank you.